Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fenske. 3 years ago, the St. Louis Blues first hosted Pride Night for LGBTQ fans. But last year, the hockey team abruptly switched gears. Pride Night became Hockey is for Everyone Night. A team spokesman explained at the time that the evening honored not just the LGBTQ community, but also, quote, blind hockey players, special needs hockey players, sled hockey players, etc. Our goal was to make everyone feel welcome and appreciated. This year, Hockey is for Everyone Night is back, and there's some new changes that have people thinking this is an even worse deal. Some members of Pride St. Louis are questioning the point. So, joining me in studio to talk about it is Jordan Braxton. She is the Director of Public Relations for the nonprofit organization PrideSTL. Jordan, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you.
And we're also joined by Marty Zuniga. He is the Director of Entertainment for PrideSTL. So, Marty, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Marty, I know you attended the Blues Pride Night back when it still really was Blues Pride Night. Tell me what that was like.
Correct. I've been to the last two. Obviously, the 2 years ago was their initial one they had, and they did a great job. They showcased the community. We had, the Gateway Men's Chorus sing the national anthem. They had the young man who is the football player that recently had come out, the high school student, dropped the first puck.
I think that's Jake Bain.
Yes, Jake. Thank you for the name. They played show tunes during the breaks. I mean, it was great. They really celebrated us in the community, which is fantastic, and really gave us an opportunity to show other fans there that night, who we were, that we're your neighbors, we're your brothers, we're your sisters, we're your coworkers, and so forth. And then last year, drastic change.
Yeah, what happened last year? I understand you were one of the people in attendance when things just kind of took almost a surprising turn.
They did. You didn't see any of that. There was, the iconic rainbow, symbolism was completely gone. No show tunes. They still allowed the chorus to sing the national anthem, but that was about the only thing you saw in terms of representation from our community that night.
And had they told you coming in at the time you bought your tickets, were you under the impression this was somehow something that was supposed to honor the LGBTQ community?
Correct. When it first started last season, when they put out their release for their promo dates and theme nights, it was, we were told that it was the same thing, that we were going to continue with everything that we'd seen before and to work with us. And we went out to the community and sold the tickets for them for the theme night and all that. Then when we showed up, it wasn't there. We were literally told 3 days before that, we're going to roll this into the Hockey is for Everyone night. So you sold us one bill of goods, and now we're seeing something else.
So I know there was some unhappiness that came out of that night last year, and I was kind of interested to find out what was going to happen this year. And I have to say I was a little bit taken aback when I found out this year it was going even more strongly in a direction that seems to sort of not make a big deal out of this night. Jordan, give us some of the highlights. What are they planning to do this year?
Well, from what I understand is they are planning to lump all the nonprofits together, whether it's LGBTQIA, whether it's mental illness, disabilities. Everyone is all nonprofits going to be on this one night. Well, the problem with that, and then you sell tickets. Each individual nonprofit will be given a group of tickets. You sell the tickets, and for each ticket you sold, you get $5. Well, some nonprofits, their individual night at the game is one of their biggest fundraisers of the year. So if you lump all the nonprofits together, then you are taking away each nonprofit's ability to make money to support and sustain the programs that they have throughout the year.
So this really took away every nonprofit that at some point had a night with the Blues. They're now all this one night, is your understanding?
That is the way we are understanding it, yes.
And I guess part of what really surprised me about this is not even a game where the Blues are going to be on the ice. Marty, can you speak to that as somebody who's clearly been to a hockey game before?
That was the biggest, kick us again when we were already down. Now you just want to take our money, but you don't even want to play for us. I mean,
and this is like a watch party, is the idea?
Party. Yeah, so they explained in their statement that it's because they just don't have the tickets available due to the high demand of ticket sales to do as many theme nights in person before. But if you look at the schedule of the promo nights they released, they have time to do a Star Wars night in person. But they'd rather have people dressed up in costumes than to celebrate the LGBT community here in St. Louis. I have a problem with that.
And so that Star Wars night, that's happening on a night when the Blues are there in the arena. And instead, this is going to be a watch party for a game they're playing across the country.
Correct. They want to take our money for ticket sales and our money for our $8, in concessions, to drink their sodas and buy their popcorn. But they won't even play on the ice for us. I mean, it sounds like rainbow capitalism at its finest.
So I'm going to read, the Blues did give us a statement. We reached out to them, and I'm going to read that here in a minute. But first, I do want to know, for people who are listening, what your thoughts on this are. Do you support Hockey is for Everyone Night, or should the Blues bring back Pride Night? You can give us a call at 314-382-8255. That's 382-TALK. Or you can send us a tweet at STL on air, or email us at talk@stlpublicradio.org. So the Blues statement is rather lengthy, but I do want to read it. It's in its entirety. They said, due to unprecedented ticket demand and sales following last season's success, we weren't able to execute as many ticket promotions as we have in the past. However, instead of foregoing Hockey is for Everyone completely, we wanted to brainstorm ways to continue its application. That is where the idea of a watch party came in. This allows us to open the entire building, over 18,000 seats for the event, instead of just having a couple hundred available for a home game. In addition, it afforded us the opportunity to introduce a charitable element where groups can sell tickets as a fundraiser and get $5 of each sale donated back to their organization. We also have the flexibility to completely tailor our game presentation and in-game activations to the Hockey is for Everyone initiative, something we couldn't do at a normal home game due to pre-sold sponsorship/partner elements. Our watch parties garnered national acclaim during the playoffs last season, and we are hoping to duplicate that atmosphere with this year's event. A couple of years ago, we rolled Pride under the Hockey is for Everyone umbrella. The idea was to be as inclusive as possible, a night or event to recognize all walks of life, no matter the sex, race, religion, sexual orientation, or physical or mental handicap. So that is the Blues statement. Jordan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
But sometimes when you try to be so inclusive, you're actually being exclusive. And my point being is that, yes, we're disappointed to hear that we're not having a Pride Night this year, but it's because our support from the Blues has been decreasing year after year after year. And an away game, the watch parties were popular because we were in the playoffs.
It was the playoffs.
It was playoffs. Let's just get to the bottom line. That's why they were popular and people attended, because we were in the playoffs. But the Blues, as Stanley Cup champions, have a chance to champion diversity and inclusion throughout the entire league. Show people, yes, we have this night for Hockey is for Everyone, but we want to center and empower and uplift the LGBTQ community, because when they just roll it all into one, it shows a lack of understanding of people within our community that are very marginalized.
Marty, what would you say? I'm sure the Blues might say, well, why should the LGBT community get this night when, we're not going to give a special night just for people with a disability or a different religion, some of these other groups they're all mentioning. Why do you think it's important for them to uplift your group in particular?
Sure, and especially in a time in the world when there's, so much anger and hate, that this is an opportunity to showcase that, we're everyone, that people in the community, there's this stigma of that, when you speak about the community, that people don't know who we are, or that they're scared. Or this is the opportunity for us to be inclusive, for everyone to come to the table around, a fun event like a hockey game, to embrace everyone. The team down the street does it very well and has been a leader in their league, MLB baseball. Yes. I mean, this year, they're actually donating part of their ticket sales from Pride Night to MTUG, which is our local trans organization here. They're the first team in their league to ever do that. They were the first team last year to allow a trans woman who was our Queen of Pride to throw out the first pitch. I mean, taking leaps and bounds, in their league to lead by example. And then here we have a team 2 blocks down the road that won't even put up the rainbow flag anymore.
Jordan, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, because the reason that we think it's important, because there are laws being passed, with many being presented all over the country, that will allow discrimination against LGBTQIA people. Laws such as denying equal rights, denying access to housing, denying employment, denying housing and shelter, access to health care, and even one bill simply denying a person, because of their gender identity or sexual orientation or gender expression, use of a food pantry. So with all this going on, and what Marty said about all the hate that we're hearing, this would be a great time for a national champion to step up and say, we support, we empower, we see our LGBT community, and we want to showcase them front and center.
I want to go to the phone lines in a minute, but first we had a couple of interesting tweets. One was from Stacy D. Kramer, who tweets that Pride is for everyone, or the hockey is for everyone night, quote, lessens the impact, diffuses the message, suggests the Blues don't value the LGBTQ community. And then Mighty King Chris writes, I enjoyed the hockey is for everyone night. Let's continue it. So two different perspectives there. Aiden is calling from Webster. Let's hear from him. Aiden, hi, you're on St. Louis on the air.
Hi there. I was just calling to sort of echo what your guest is saying. I really do think that the watch parties in particular are just sort of a money grab for the fan base. And by doing the hockey's for everyone, we're not only lessening the impact, but just sort of like including everybody, but not highlighting anyone. And I've been to the Pride nights. I've been to the Cardinals games that have the Pride nights too. And there's such great environments for. I take my kids, and it just feels like such a positive atmosphere. And to make it, sort of like an all lives matter approach, just kind of makes me sick. So I really do hope that the Blues change their mind and get back to highlighting people who matter. And I won't be going to any of the watch parties.
Aiden, thank you for that call, and we appreciate your perspective there. That seems like a pretty clear, she's not going. She used to go. She won't go. Let's go back to the phone lines. JT is calling from Festus. JT, hi, you're on St. Louis on the air.
Hello. Thank you. The reason I called in is I'm a big fan of the station. Yet when I hear this LGBTQ topic come up quite often, getting a mixed message.
How so?
Well, we want to be considered, normal people. There's nothing different about us from a social perspective. Yet they're frustrated that they can't have a hockey night dedicated. It's confusing to me. I personally don't think there needs to be a hockey night or any special attention given to any particular group or faction or preference.
Well, JT, we appreciate your perspective on that. I guess it makes me think of what Jordan had just said when I had asked, why for your community in particular. Jordan had a couple examples about how this community is under fire, and under fire in Missouri in particular. Does that change your perspective at all, or do you still feel like this is a confusing message?
I don't believe it's under fire, and if it is, I believe it's perpetuated by media and just repeating the negativity that people want to associate. Again, I just wanted to voice my opinion. I'm getting a mixed message, so I think it's confusing.
Sure. JT, thank you for that call. I appreciate that. Marty, is there something you'd want to say in response?
Yes, and if you look at the other teams in the league, when the Blues first told us that they were lumping this all into the Hockey is for Everyone, it was because it was a league initiative. And if you look around at all the other teams in the league, you'll see that they do have a Hockey is for Everyone night. However, many of the teams still do a separate Pride night on top of that. So to say that it was a league initiative and then to do away with it, it's not saying, you embraced us so strongly before and then started watering it down. You're finding ways to get rid of it. So I would like to know, where's it coming from? I mean, you embraced this before, and now it's just getting watered down, and then you decide to use the Hockey for Everyone night as almost like a cover. So it's like, where is it coming from? Is it management? Is it ownership? That's my question to the team. It's like, okay, if you want to do away with it, that's fine. And Hockey is for Everyone, which is great. But look at the other teams in the league who are still honoring us and still doing the Hockey is for Everyone night.
Jordan?
It just feels to me that it's capitalism over community. Like you preach that the Blues here for the community, but yet you have a chance to, again, be the champions of diversity and inclusion, but you choose to sell us out to a home game. Not a home game, but
an away game.
An away game, a watch party that we all know that doesn't make as much money as if you were here. So it just feels like they have decided to take money over people that matter.
We got an email from Madonna. She writes, I'm a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. However, the way your guests are berating the Blues gives the impression that they somehow believe the Blues, quote, owe them a charity night. The Blues, like any other company, are under no obligation to assist any charity. In the end, isn't it more harmful to the LGBTQ cause to berate a company publicly for helping you in the way they are, only because they aren't helping you in the way you wish they would? If I were the Blues, it would make me much less likely to expand my assistance in the future. Either of you want to take that one?
Well, I think it's not the fact that we're berating them. It's that we're bringing it to the attention of our community that here we had a great partner, and now all of a sudden it's going away, and with no reason or rhyme to it. I mean, the explanation is clear that they're hiding behind the lack that they don't have the tickets available anymore. But it's like, you clearly had the tickets available 2 years ago. So you go win a championship, and all of a sudden we're not your friends anymore.
I did want to ask you a couple follow-up questions. We did send the Blues a couple of questions, hoping that they would give us answers, and they declined to answer on these couple points, and so I want to hear from you on that. Last year, you, Marty, and a couple of your colleagues had been very public about the fact you felt hurt about the way they handled this, and we had asked the Blues if they had attempted to communicate with Pride St. Louis after you had made that known. Did they reach out at all?
No, there was no response to our, we sent out a statement that said we were very disappointed in how it looked and how Pride Night came across because we were, like I said, blindsided by the change in programming. I mean, they told us that this was all going to happen and that, we'd be able to drop out the first puck and do all these things. And then 3 days before, they canceled all those activation elements. They donated a ride on the Zamboni for us that we used to raffle off, for donations and things. And that was all taken away 3 days before. There was a drastic change in
And there was no conversation about that, even after you guys went public.
Correct. No conversation whatsoever. So that takes me back to my original question is, we were never told why. And just, come to the table and sit down and talk to us. And we'd love to figure out ways to, to explore this opportunity in the future, but we had no other way to do it. So now this is our chance to tell the community. There was a lot of questions in the community. And so as the leaders in our organization, we decided that, we need to go out and talk about it.
To speak out. One other question we had asked the Blues that they did decline to answer. We asked about ticket sales for the Hockey is for Everyone night, this watch party for the away game, and they didn't answer that. Do you know anyone from the LGBTQ community who is planning to go to this?
Not that I know of.
And I know you can't speak for everyone.
I can't speak for everyone.
In terms of your circles.
But in my circles, I don't believe anyone is going because the part of the excitement of going to the night is actually seeing the Blues play and feeling the excitement and being there with champions and knowing that they're uplifting and showing your community and centering your community and empowering your community is a wonderful thing to feel. It's a feeling, if more than anything. Know that you're accepting and here you are. The Blues are again the Stanley Cup champion and here they are leading the way again in diversity and inclusion, and you can be part of that feeling, that experience. It's not just a hockey game or a Pride Night. It's an experience, a feeling that you give people to feel that they are welcomed, that here is a national champion embracing community at a time when other aspects of our nation are denying people their basic human rights.
And you don't feel like you'd get that from this watch party that's for
not at
everyone.
all.
Marty, do you know anyone who's planning to go to this at this point?
Not that I know. Like I said, I can't speak for the community. I only can speak for myself. And
You're not going.
Obviously, no. I will not be attending.
Okay. Well, Marty Zuniga, Director of Entertainment for PrideSTL, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And Jordan Braxton, Director of Public Relations for PrideSTL, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.